So if you haven't done so, please make sure you have a copy of this. Um, just so we would have enough time to go over the decimals slides today, we will be going over the definitions in our notebook. And then if we have the time later on, we will go back to the examples. Otherwise, we'll continue with the examples next meeting. So if you have already downloaded this, I can see only 5 total viewers right now. So I'll give you some more time to download the GOA 1.6 angle pairs and make a copy of that. And later on, you can take care of adding that to your digital notebook. Okay. Now, somebody asked me earlier um, about the use of digital notebook, if it's the whole year or whatnot, because some students said they're having a little bit of challenge around it. Not necessarily. I only have this format for the first chapter, depending on what we find, more manageable for you guys. We'll see what we can do around that. So this may not be like for the entire semester. Okay, so I'm going to get started. In slide number 2 of your notes for today, we have here examples of complementary angles. And as you can see, complementary angles may be together or separate. So if you look at the examples at the bottom, complementary angles pretty much are based on the sum of their measurements. So if two angles, when added up, equal to 90 degrees, then we call them complementary angles. Now, how is that different from 90 degrees? So 90 degrees is just one angle that measures exactly 90. So that's a right angle. Okay? So we cannot say that if an angle is right, then it's complementary. No, it doesn't work that way. So we're talking about two different angles, either put together like this. Okay? We call them adjacent. Okay, yeah. So if they are adjacent, like in the first example, or if they are separate, as long as they add up to 90 degrees, then they are called supplementary. All right, and we're going to look at those examples later on. Now, for the second definition we're going to look at today, they're called supplementary angles. Supplementary angles. And by definition, two angles are supplementary if and only if their sum is 180 degrees. And for example, in this figure on the bottom left, angle 3 and angle 4 are supplementary, and each angle is called a supplement of the other. Okay, so let's say angle 3 is a supplement of 4 and vice versa. Now, these two examples are similar and different at the same time. They're similar because they add up to 180 when their measures are combined, but the first pair is actually what we call a linear pair, right? Linear pair. And we will talk about what a linear pair again later on in the next few slides. So linear pairs are two angles that share a common side and a common vertex. And if you add them together, they add up to 180. On the other hand, two angles don't have to be together all the time to sum up to 180, such as in this example. If you add 115 and 65, that's still supplementary because they're 180, even if they don't share any common side or vertex. All right. Um, and in number 4, there you go. So I mentioned this earlier. Linear pairs are those angles that have a common side in the middle, and they also share a vertex. So they share that point in the middle. Now, the two non-common sides are forming a straight line. That's why it's called linear pair line, right? Okay, so two adjacent angles form a linear pair if and only if their non-common sides form opposite rays or a straight line. Okay, and we have here a postulate. A postulate is like a statement that we accept without proof. So linear pair postulate gives you the relationship between two angles in a linear pair. So according to this, the angles in a linear pair are supplementary. So in other words, if I may write here, if two angles form a linear pair, I'm just going to put LP for a linear pair, then they are supplementary. I'm just going to put sup for supplementary. So that is the meaning of linear pair postulate. Now, on the space on the right, I'm gonna write the converse of this. You remember what converse is again? Converse is you switch them around, right? So if I switch them around, I say if two angles are supplementary, then they form a linear pair. I'm just going to use that for now, linear pair LP. So notice that the red statement is correct, right? But the blue statement is wrong. Why? Because if you take a look at these two examples at the bottom, they are supplementary, right? 115 plus 65 is 180, but they're not together. So they don't form a linear pair. So this is why I mentioned last time that some definitions are two-way conditionals, meaning if you interchange the if and then part, both the statements would be correct. Um, but now we're seeing an example of, a statement that has a converse that's not necessarily true. All right. And then for the last type of angles that we will talk about today, they're called vertical angles. Vertical angles. And, a very easy way to memorize that is if you look at these two pairs of angles, angle 3 and 6, they look like two letter V's that are back to back, right? And same is true for, angle 4, that one, and angle 5. So they're sharing a vertex right there in the middle, okay? And their sides form two pairs of opposite rays. So another way to memorize this one is two angles are vertical if they're forming two intersecting lines. You see that pattern? So this is just one straight line, and this is another straight line with a common intersection point in the middle. Okay, so as I've said, um, angle 3 and angle 6 are the ones that are vertical. And then angle 4 and angle 5 are also vertical. If you take a red and a green combination, 3 and 4, that's not vertical. That's going to be a linear pair, right? Okay. And now this is now what we call a theorem. So earlier we saw a postulate, which is a statement that we, accept to be true. Now, theorems, on the other hand, these are some of the statements that we will be proving in geometry. So here we go. We begin mentioning proving, right? So what makes geometry a little bit different from algebra is we will be, proving some statements like if two angles are vertical angles, then they are congruent. So for example, in this picture, angle 4 and angle 5 are congruent to each other. One quick way to check that is imagine if we write this on a folding paper or a patty paper, right? If we fold 4 onto 5, they would actually fit exactly, right? And again, looking at the converse of vertical angle, I spelled that wrong. Um, so the converse of vertical angles is if two angles are congruent, then they are vertical. So we can clearly state that that's not necessarily true because two angles can have the same measurement without being connected to each other. Okay, so let's summarize. In the chat, before we go to our next activity, can you mention one type of angle that we talked about in those 4 slides? Okay, type in any pair of angle that we mentioned in those 4 slides. Linear angle or linear pair, vertical angles, very good. Can you also type how linear pairs are related, Tessa? And Johnny also, how are vertical angles related? Very good, Rihanna. What's the measurement of supplementary angles? What is the sum when you add them? Would you like to type that in as well? 180, very good. All right. Linear angles or linear pairs. Awesome. So those are some of the angles that we will use today. So if you could open 1.6, thanks Bianca, linear angles or linear pairs. Go back to Schoology and open the 1.6 decimals. Okay, so we haven't done this previously, but we'll see how fast we can set this up today. All right. So go to student.decimals.com. I'm going to do that as well. And I'm going to go to the teacher dashboard. Okay. So the instructions are in your Schoology. Some students suggested in my previous classes earlier to like split the screen in the Chromebook. They said press on Alt and then the two brackets next to the letter P, you press them simultaneously. They said press Alt and then the two brackets that look like this, you press them at the same time. They said it will split the screen into two, showing the zoom and the decimals at the same time. I'm learning from you guys. Like, I don't know some of these stuff. So if you're using a Chromebook, try that. Hi, honey. You're wearing a lip gloss? Okay, so let me go to my teacher dashboard over here. Type in the chat type in the code if it's asking for the code. And again, for any school related stuff, please make sure you log in with your LAUSD Google account, so everything gets saved in your drive. Okay. So if you don't finish this activity, you will be able to go back to it. Okay, I'm having a lag time over here. Let me close the other browsers. Okay, manage classes, period 5. Oh, 10 of you are in it already. All right. Ooh. My husband and I are the only ones zooming at this time. I wonder why it's still slow. Should I disconnect my other device? Okay, I'm going to try to log into my Chromebook as well, see which one's faster. But then it will take up. Okay, there's 14 of you. Ooh. Did anybody like join period 6? Okay. So make sure you guys are in the period 5 class. Yeah, just follow. What's the code? Give me 1 sec, honey. It's okay. I'm gonna copy and paste this in the chat. So we can make sure we're in the same. Okay. All right, and it's loading my dashboard. Oh, there you go. Now it's working. And I can see Kenya, Bianca, Sophia, Tessa, Rihanna, Josiah, Jeremiah, Matthew, and Dominic are already in it. And you guys are already, in slide 10? Okay. Make sure though that you get the slides right, okay? Because as you can see on my screen right now, it's showing me whether you get it right by giving me a dot, or if you're getting it wrong, you see an X. Oh, is that Cheetos? Okay. Bye, mommy's working. I'll see you later. All right. Okay. So. Arciaga? Yes, honey. I'm a little confused. I joined the class. What are we supposed to do? Okay, give me 1 sec. So can you open this in Schoology, honey? Did you see this one in Schoology? Yeah. Okay. And then did you go to student.desmos.com?
Yeah, I joined the class already. I'm just confused. What do we do after we join it?
After you join, so like every slide, like you type in the response box. So the first question is like, like a little warm up, it doesn't have to be related to what we talked about. It's just like a review. Okay. And then for each slide, so just move on to the next slide. You're going to type in your response again, okay, depending on what's being asked. And then in slide 3, so that's where you are going to like match the cards depending on, let's say, for example, let me look up Bianca's over here. So Bianca has already like matched them supplementary angles or angles that have a sum of 200, sum of 180 and so on. So it's like a mix and match activity. Is it making sense to you right now, honey?
Yeah, I got it now. Thank you.
Okay. All right. And if you guys could look at my screen, if you see like a green thing, that means it's correct. But that means there will be like what do you call this? 4 cards in a stack. So I'm sorry, like yeah, okay. So match the cards that represent each definition. And after you match, for example, Bianca, after you match the definitions, maybe you can also match the cards that sum up to 180. Okay, because it says there should be 4 cards in each group. So a word or phrase, a definition, and then drawings. Sorry, I'm having one, so I don't understand. All right, so to begin with, Dominic, open your 1.6 activity in Desmos. This one, or in Schoology. That's where you get the instructions from. You have to go to this website and then you have to type in the code. If you need to do some scratch work, you could do that on a piece of paper. But your grade for this one will depend on the number of slides that you finish. So make sure that you do as many slides as possible. Okay. And then in the first 2 questions, Dominic, you just type in the response in the, let me see. Okay, where are you? Are you in slide? Okay. All right. So in screen 1, like choose one card that does not belong, and then explain why card does not belong to the group. So first 2 slides are just quick warm ups. So you may relate it to the lesson, you may not. That's okay. So just pick one. All right. And explain why you think it doesn't belong to the group. So some students wrote that, the two blue lines do not form an angle, so they said that's the one that they were going to pick. All right, and then they just oh, did it work? Charlize, is that how you say your name, honey? Okay. And it worked already. Yay, good job. Yay. My internet also worked. Yay, good job. It wasn't working earlier. It was very slow. Okay. All right, Charlize. Okay, so Dominic, I don't know if that helped a little bit. So first 2 slides are just like quick warm-ups or intro. Just choose one card that doesn't belong to the other group. And then the second question, it will repeat itself. So you have to pick another one and try to justify it again in your own way. It's not letting me sign in even though I put the code and sign in. Oh, that's so sad. Okay, let's see. I'm thinking of a workaround here, Giovanna. Give me one sec. Huh. Okay, I will try to send the link, and it didn't work for Ava as well. I'm gonna try to send a link. Give me one second. Yeah. So well, try repeatedly. I'm not sure if it's just like, you know, maybe the internet not going through, or um yeah. But either way, what I don't know. I'll try to like send a link. If I could do that right now, it'll let you in now. Okay. So maybe Ava, just keep repeating it. Keep trying to log into the to the website because now Giovanna is in. Um, yep, honey. Uh-huh. So period 5. Okay. So I just refreshed my dashboard. So maybe now it will let you in. I'm sorry, but just keep trying, honey. Um, we'll see. Okay. Um, for the third slide, I can see like several X's over here. So make sure that after you match the two cards, you also put 4 in a stack. Okay, so I can see Josiah is done with the third slide. Josiah, would you like to give some tips on how you did that, Josiah?
Uh,
And Bianca as well. Josiah, like how did you do number 3? You want to share some tips?
oh, I just
Okay. So I'm sharing your screen right now. So you want to explain how you did some of these?
well, I remember that supplementary angles are two angles that have a sum of 180 degrees. So I put the ones that add up to 180 in the supplementary one. And then the one that says complementary, two angles that sum up to 90 degrees. The first one sums up to 90, and the second one also sums up to 90. The vertical angles that are two angles opposite of each other that
Uh huh.
intersect, they make it's like literally a line that's 180 degrees, but they're technically just two different angles, just opposite of each other.
Uh huh.
And adjacent angles are the ones that are literally right next to each other. So I looked at
Thank you. And Adrian, if you heard Josiah explain adjacent, he did mention that those are the angles that are kind of sharing a side and a vertex. They're side by side, he mentioned. Bianca already got a check mark on third slide. Rihanna is also done. There you go. And Johnny already got that check mark. Okay. Awesome. Okay, why is there a lot of X in slide 5? Let me see what you guys are working on. So finally find the measure of angle B using the drawing tool on the sketch. Ooh, okay. So be careful when you're choosing vertical. Vertical means they're forming um, they're forming two straight lines intersecting. So that may not be the case for question number 5. Okay, if I may see. Okay. Um, supplementary. Sophia, if I may comment on your second stack, the red angles that you put together, honey, they don't add up to 180. And your definition said the two angles that have a sum of 180. So you see how this picture must match what you put together in the definition and in the phrase. Okay, so you want to go over that one more time, Sophia? So since this is misplaced, then one of the cards is also misplaced. Yeah, so you have to take this away, honey. Like this red one, it doesn't go under supplementary. So that's why in the teacher dashboard, it's giving you like an X mark because one of them is misplaced. So you have to like put this in the right stack. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. This one is okay, complementary. All right. Matthew, if I may comment on your last stack of cards, Josiah mentioned earlier that adjacent angles are those that are side by side and together. So maybe you need to move your red picture somewhere else. Okay? Yep. Okay. And vertical angles are also sometimes called, you know, B and back to back, V to V. It looks like this. So if your angles are not together, forming a straight line, two intersecting lines, then you can't call them vertical angles. They have to, vertical angles look like a letter X pretty much. Okay. So you might want to redo that. All right. Okay. All right, Nicholas, you got two slides in a row um, that are not accurate. Can we go back to them one by one? So, what types of angles are shown? Um, Nicholas, Josiah mentioned earlier that adjacent have to be side by side, side by side. So, I don't think you picked the right one for slide number 4. Yep. I'm sorry. Am I putting you guys on blast? Okay. I okay. I just want to make sure that you guys get them right. Okay, I should learn how to be quiet. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I'm just gonna show my teacher dashboard then. So if you see an X, I'm not gonna comment, but I'm just gonna say okay. I'm not gonna say anything. Too small. Okay. Can I show everyone's name? Constructive criticism. Okay, I promise to be better at that. Um, like I'm running several ways in my head how to do that. Okay, I'll just say think about it again, or you got the right answer but to a different problem. How about that? Okay, it's hard to do it remotely, huh? Like in the class, I would just say any comments, any suggestions. Okay, let me just go back to the classroom. Just be honest. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm showing you the dashboard on the screen. Um, yeah, could you please take a look at those that have like a mark, like an X mark, so you can go over them one more time? Okay. And if you get stuck, maybe you can ask questions instead, so it doesn't appear like I'm roasting you. Did I use the right word? Did I use it correctly? Okay. Oh my god, I remember in the class last time you guys were saying roasted and I didn't even know what you guys were talking about. New words. Okay. Number 5. Okay. So let me find you and I'll go to your slide. Okay. Number 5. What type of angles? Okay. So they're side by side. So that means, yeah, you picked the right one. They're adjacent and they are complementary. Now you're gonna find the measure. So if they're complementary, Johnny, they add up to how much? Good. So then take this 29 away from 90 and you will get the measure of angle B. Did that help? Okay, cool. Yay, there's more check marks in the third column. Hmm.
Miss Arciaga, can you help me with number 6?
Number 6. This is Matthew, right?
Maybe. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm looking for your name. Hang
I'm
on.
the top.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Find the measure of angle 1. Name the special pair of angles formed. Show work using the draw tool. Okay. So measure of angle CUB, meaning the whole thing, Andrew, right? This is CUB, is 78. So that means the biggest angle is 78, but a little portion is 48. So what would you do? Did you subtract?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just confused on what it asked me.
But but you put 38, honey.
Oh. Oh wait, so do I have to add it up?
No, 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 no. Like 78 minus 48 is not 38, my dear.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. There you go. Okay. I didn't know how to say that in another way, Matthew. I'm
I told
sorry.
you the one that can take.
Okay. All right. Oh, how do I close this window now? Okay.
Wait. I'm
Yeah.
still confused though.
Okay.
What
So,
special pair is
um, okay, they don't make a 90 degrees, so it's not right, but they're side by side. So, what do you call angles that are side by side? Starts with A.
JCs?
Yeah. Yep. There you go. There you go. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot to check the chat. Um, we check my slide number 3. Yes, Maggie, I'm working on it. I hope I find your name like super fast. Oh, there you go. I found you. Okay. Uh-huh. Adjacent. Okay. Complementary 90, supplementary 180, and then adjacent that are opposite each other. Okay. It's the definition, Maggie, of adjacent and vertical. So when two lines intersect like this, that's for vertical. So switch them around, honey. Yep, yep. What does it do if I click on this thing over here? Oh, it just tells me which ones have errors. I like this. I can see whether you're working or not. Okay. And I can see what slide you're in. Um, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Like do as many slides as you can and then go back later on to those that you got an X mark in. So because sometimes like we learn something from a different example that reminds us of how to do another example or the previous one.
Miss Arciaga, I still don't understand the answers.
All right, so where are you at, honey? Let me find your name in the theme.
Question 5.
Question 5. So on the slide 5, where is Dominic? Oh my god, why can't I find you? Where? Okay,
Not at the top.
the top. Sorry, my. Okay. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong column. Okay, can you help me, please? Oh, here,
Right
right?
there.
Okay. All right. All right. So find the measure of angle B using the drawing tool on the sketch. All right. So if you see this red symbol over here, it means it's a right angle. So right angle means they equal to 90 degrees. So what do you call two angles that add up to 90 degrees? What would you pick first among?
Complementary.
Yeah. So put a check mark on that. And then if they're connected to each other and they're side by side, that's another special type of angle. So what do you call angles that are side by side?
Supplementary.
Nope. Supplementary is different. Supplementary means they add up to 180, but they could also be side by side angles. Yeah. But since they don't add up to 180, you don't click on supplementary. Now, verticals are those that look like a letter V or a letter X intersecting line, but this ones, they make a letter L with another thing in the middle. So if the angles are together, they share a side and they share a vertex, you call that what?
Oh, okay.
Adjacent. So you have to click on that. So there's two possible answers, right? Now, how do we find the measure of angle B? So since we know that the two angles add up to 90 together, you get B plus, and then you add the given angle over there, which is 21. So then it's like you're solving an equation for B by itself, right? So what are you going to do with the 29?
Back it.
Yep,
And then you.
yep, that's the way to go. All right, Ben meets up with number 6. Sophia, come on, we're all in this together. We won't leave you behind. Let me just help Ben, and then I'll help you out. So Ben, okay. And if it's the third slide, Sophia, that's throwing you off, you could just leave that for now and go back to it later. I'll just help Ben. Ben, what slide are you in? Okay, there you go. I think I found you. Okay, here you go. Ben. All right. So find the measure of angle 1. So if you add these two together, Ben, they should equal to this one, because CUB means the whole angle, so that's 78 degrees, right? So if this is my x and this is my y, if you add x and y together, you should get 78. So, but x is for angle 1, and then the y is the 48. There you go. So you need to get this by itself, okay? So what will you do with 78 and 48? Can you take it from there? All right. Um,
Miss Arciaga,
yes.
you can help me with number 10.
Okay, give me 1 second. Um, I promise that I'll help Sophia next. Sophia, is there anything else I can help you with? Sophia? Oh, just type in the chat, honey. If yeah, because I don't see any X mark right now. So you're good. Okay. All right. Just let me know. Matthew, you were saying
Um, I need help.
number 10. Um,
Yeah. Well, I just need clarification.
okay. So find A, B, C, D. All right. First find A. So
Okay.
yeah,
So find A, don't isn't it like doesn't it add up to 180?
yeah, that's right.
So then
And
X
then
55, right?
uh-huh,
Then I subtracted it from that 180.
uh-huh.
I got that right.
Okay. A-
That's it.
And then once you have the A, you can now solve this triangle to find the B. Go inside the triangle. Okay, because if you know the measure of this one, did you say 65?
Yeah.
Okay, so if this is 65, this is 90 degrees, right?
Yeah.
So if you add that up, and you know that in a triangle it's 180 total, then that will give you the value of B. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so try that.
All right. So I got 25.
All right. Then, so assuming your calculations are right, C and B, they look like a letter X. They're back to back. So what kind of angles are those?
Vertical?
Yes, and if they're vertical, then they must be what?
The same.
The same. There.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What about is that 90 already? Do I know that?
Oh yes, yes. Uh-huh. Because it has that X. I mean it has that square, and it also forms a vertical angle with the 90 degree of the triangle. You see that? Yeah. All right. Cool, huh? Okay. All right. Let me close Matthew's screen. Mm-hmm. Anybody else that I can help with any of the items?
Arciaga,
Yep, Josiah.
I need help.
Okay, let me find you right there. Yeah, slide 5.
No, I'm already on 10.
Oh, you're already in 10, but you need to go back here later, okay? You see this one?
Wait, why?
It put an X
Oh,
mark, yeah. But let's go to 10. Um, okay, so to get C, um, Josiah, B and C are back-to-back angles and they're forming like an intersecting line pattern. So what do you call those angles?
they're vertical?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
vertical.
yes. And if they're vertical, how are their measures related?
Are they the same?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. And then your letter D, Josiah, I don't think it's 85 because
Really?
I don't think it's 85. Oh, now Matthew, which
Yeah.
which now reminds me as well. The D is not for the right angle, but just for this little piece over here. So for Josiah and Matthew, the whole thing is 90, so you have to take 15 away from 90 to get the letter D. There you go. I messed up on that too. Okay. All right. Nicholas, is there any slide I can help you with? Where are you? And Macias are right there. What slide are you in, Nicholas? Are you in 3? Yes. So 3. Okay, I think you match the definitions. Two angles that share a common side. Supplementary is 180. Okay, so you are matching the the names and the definitions correct, and you got this stack correct already. This is complete. So your vertical angles is already complete. Now, you're missing two more cards in the adjacent angles. So adjacent angles are those that are side by side. They do not overlap. They have like a common ray or a common side in the middle, and they also have a common vertex. So you have to find two figures that match that definition. So they're side by side angles. They don't have to equal to any special number as long as they're side by side. Okay. Um, okay, how can you find C in number 10? And Josiah said it's the same as B. Oh, uh, nice. Okay, thanks for helping each other in the chat. Um, so Nicholas, I don't know if that helped a little bit. Let's say, for example, these two angles, when you add them, do they equal to 90? If not, as long as they're side by side, then you know that they're adjacent. Okay? And you're looking for four stacks with four cards each. Yep. So far you got one stack complete and done. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mr. Arciaga.
Yes, Jeremiah.
Oh, well, when you're done with this, can you go to my name? I want to see. What do the dots mean?
That means you're good.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
you only need to worry about it if you like see an X. That means you type in something that's wrong.
okay.
Okay.
Hi, Jeremiah.
All right. Um, Nicholas, did I help you enough? Or Caitlin? Let me see. Yes. So Caitlin, you're fine. The only thing that will show either a check mark or an X mark is slide 3, and then You only need to worry if, let's say, in slide 5, you have an X mark or something like that. If it's a dot, you're good. You did not type in anything that's wrong. Yeah. Just be careful though, because sometimes. Okay. Oh, what about finding A in number 10? Finding A in number 10. Oh, to find A, Rihanna, the angles at the bottom. There you go. Caitlin said it right. That was quick. Okay. All right. Nice emoji.
Wait, Mr. Arciaga,
Yes.
is my number 5 right? Did I get it right
Number 5. This is Josiah, right?
now? Yeah.
Oh,
No.
I didn't.
Um, they're not vertical, honey. They
What do
don't
you mean?
because they don't form a letter V. Yeah, the 20 that if you want vertical, then it should be this and that. That's vertical.
Oh, wait, so it's only talking about like the
The
3 on the right,
the B
and
and
it's
the
not like the 20.
29. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Um complementary angles, Dominic, add up to 90 degrees. Yes. Yes, you're right. You're right. See, you're right. Why do I have to say that? Can you check what questions I got wrong? Sure, agent. Give me 1 sec. Let me close this screen. Um, where is Yap? Okay, here. You're good, Adrian. Yay! You're done. So if you're done and just waiting, yeah, go back to Schoology. You have like an independent work over there. So yeah. Um, and if you do not finish the Desmos, you can always go back to it later on. But I will definitely, yeah, record, yeah, your scores before I shut down my device today. Okay, so you have 1.5 measuring angles checked for understanding independent work in Schoology. So you can start with that. I need help on 7. I'm going there. Tessa, 7, right here. Okay. Explain to John how he can determine if two angles are complementary. So the condition for complementary is if they add up to 90 degrees, right? And it doesn't have to do with whether they are adjacent or not because complementary angles can be together or not. So that means um, you have to explain something to him about, combining the measures of the angles and checking whether or not they add up to a certain amount. hmm I hope that helped, Tessa. Dominic on 6, Ben on 8. Um, 6. Okay, who's 6? Find the measure of angle 1. Oh, Dominic, it didn't say they're complementary. It didn't say they're complementary. So pretty much the entire angle CUB, the angle CUB, is 78. So it's not 90, it's only 78. Yeah, so you subtracted from 90 degrees. You must change that. And then Ben on 8. Ben on 8. Draw an angle that measures about 120. Okay, so that's think of it as a combination of 90 and 30, right? Because that make 90 and 30 make 120 degrees. So you can pretty much approximate. Uh-huh. And then you have to classify it. So what do you call angles whose measures range from 91 to, let's say, 179? So what do you call those angles? Yeah. So it should be like one of these. So you don't have to be super exact when you draw your angle, honey. So As long as don't make it like less than 90 because it will obviously mark it wrong. And don't make it a straight angle either because, um, it will mark it wrong too. So that like try your best in drawing the most closest one to 120 degrees.
Thank you.
Um, do we do we have to show? No, just type in your responses to Schoology. Yep, Adrian. If you're done, we're free to go. Your live work is this, and then the independent work you can do it whatever you want it, as long as it's done today. Okay, can I check what I got? Sure, Gianna. I'm working on
Wait, so
it.
does that mean we should go?
Yes, honey. If you're done with
Oh,
your Zoom work, but you have to do your
thank you.
independent
Bye.
work later. Bye. Gianna, you're good. Gianna. Yay. Okay, cylinders.
Arciaga.
Yep.
I need a little bit of help with number 10 for letter C.
Sure, Rocky. Let me find you right here. Number 10?
I haven't finished it yet, but I just need help with
Sure.
letter C.
Okay, for letter C, like C and B are back to back and they form a
Yeah.
straight line. So what do you call
So,
those angles?
so they're equal?
Yay! That's it.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
man, I was struggling this whole time.
It's okay. It's okay, Rocky. Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Bye, Rihanna. Have a good one. Sorry, Johnny. No, it's the 1.5 check for understanding.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Bye, Josiah. No, honey. I can see it right now, and I'm gonna record it before I shut it down. So you're good. All right.
I need help with number 6.
Number 6. I found you earlier. Macias, where are you? Nicholas, in the middle, right here. Yeah. Um. Okay. The entire angle CUB is given to be 78, and they're side by side, right? So that means if you combine these two, you should get this as your total. So what will you do to find the remaining angle? Uh-huh.
Subtract.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Did I help you with that? Okay. Alice, number 9. Number 9. Okay. So where is Alice? Yeah. Um. Okay. So 7 and where's my pen? So 7 and 8 are complementary. So in other words, these two. Oops. So that means these two make a right angle, correct? Because they're complementary. And then 5 is the same as 8. Okay, and then 6 is 29. So to find the missing value for 7 and 5, you have to use these two angles first, Alice, because you already know one of them is 29, so you can find angle 5, right? And once you know angle 5, whatever that answer is, it's also going to go to angle 8. And then once you know angle 8, then you can subtract it from 90 to get angle 7. Did that make sense? Okay, so you have to find angle 5 first. That's the first thing you have to find. You have to subtract the 29-degree angle from 90 degrees. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
Can I get help with number 3? Can you check it? 'Cause it says, I think I saw it wrong.
Okay. Let me. Oops. Number 3.
Oh, is it right?
Um, let me see. Uh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You just didn't, just combine them together, pretty much. Yeah, but
Oh,
yeah, but you're good. You're good.
okay.
Okay. Yes, Linnea.
3 and 5.
Number three. Okay. For number three, complementary. Okay. This one is out of place, so take that away. I think you have to switch these two around because complementary is they have to sum up to something, and then adjacent are those that are side by side. Okay, can you fix that? All right, Ilana, number 10. Give me 1 second. Okay, can you fix that, Linnea? And then I'll get back to um I have to refresh my thing. Okay.
Give me the dot.
Let me just refresh it. Okay, and then Ilana, you said number 10. For number 10, you start by getting the value of A at the bottom by adding all the angles and then subtracting from 180 because they're all together lined up. Okay, let me just check Linnea. I'm waiting for it to load. Um, okay, let me see. It's still showing an X mark. Okay, so all right, now we just have two. Okay, so that means why are the figures not showing to me? So for the pictures, now check the pictures, make sure that they equal to 180. So I think you mix them like the pictures. So those that form 180 or add to 180, you have to put it under supplementary. And then those that add up to 90, you have to put them under complementary. I think that will do the trick. So if you fix that, it should be good. Okay. Ilana, number 10. A is 65. Okay, now to find angle B, Ilana, you have to use this triangle over here. Now, what's the sum of all angles in a triangle? So you add this square, which is 90, to whatever you got for A, you add that up and then subtract from the sum of angles in the triangle, and that will give you angle B. And once you have the B, B and C are back-to-back angles, so they're vertical angles, and we know that vertical angles are congruent. Um, so you have to match whatever you get for angle B with angle C. Okay. Oh, thanks, Sophia. Yes, Nicholas, Sophia helped you out. Okay, Sophia, did you also get the one I explained for number 10? So first you find this angle at the bottom by adding these two together and taking it away from 180. And then once you have A, you're looking at a triangle here, and we know that a triangle adds up to another 180, right? So once you have the 90 here and your answer here, then you can add them together and the remaining will be equal to B. Uh-huh. And then once you have the B, automatically B and C are the same because they're vertical angles, right? And we know vertical angles are congruent to each other. Okay, I hope that helped. You get it now? Okay, cool.
Miss Arciaga,
Uh-huh.
can you put number 5 for me, please?
Number 5. Oh, they can't be supplementary, Linnea, because they don't equal to 180, right?
Okay.
And then if they're side by side, like what do you call angles that are side by side? So you're missing another tick mark.
Oh, vertical.
No, vertical are those that are back to back, the form letter V's, but not for that one. Why can't I log in? Okay. What's um what's 10? Okay, in number 10, Brian, you have to start by finding the value of a at the bottom. So they all form a straight line. So if it's a straight line, what's the sum of all those angles? So you can add them up, and then the remaining will be your angle A. And once you have angle A, then you solve this triangle over here. We know that in um, a triangle adds up to 180 altogether. Okay. Nope. Um, okay, you mix the definitions up, Ilana. Can you check if mine is complete? Max. Yep, Max, you're good. You're done. Um, yes, Ben, because they're vertical angles. Okay. You're welcome. All right, you guys. Um, if you don't need my help anymore, oh, Kiloa, give me 1 second. Uh, yes, my dear, you're good. Yep. On number 10, I got the first two angles.
Miss Arciaga, did it just say right like one?
Yeah, it will save it automatically. As long as you log in using your Google Drive, it will stay like that. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. For the remaining angle, Dominic, you solve the triangle. You add up all the angles of the triangle, and then okay, hang on. Yeah, so you add the angles of the triangle and then find the missing one. You know, in the triangle, they all add up to 180. Sure, Seth, Caitlin, I'm looking. You're good, Caitlin. Done. Awesome. Aaron, Danny. Oh, Sophia, can you get if I got anything wrong? Sophia, Brooks. Okay, you're good, Sophia. Number 9, Aaron, Denny. I'm looking, my dear. Oh, what did I do? I messed up. Okay, number 9. Okay, I'm looking for Aaron, Denny. Okay. Right. For 9, okay. So these two, Aaron, Denny, they add up to 90 degrees, right? So that means like this is a right angle. And if they form a right angle, these two are also right. So meaning they add up to another 90. And you know that angle 6 is 29 degrees. So that means you can find angle 5, right? And once you know what angle 5 is, since 5 and 8 are the same, so these two would match. So you can find the measure of these two angles. And once you know angle 8, that will also give you um, the measurement of angle 7. Okay. Nope, Dominic, they equal each other. They equal each other. Alice, for number 10, you have to start by getting the letter A at the bottom, which is they're all lined up. So they have to equal to a certain number if they're forming a straight line. And then once you have the value of A, you can find the value of B by solving the triangle. Like in a triangle, the angles add up to to 180 as well. Okay. All right.